My name is Nicole Lauria, and this is my senior project. My essential question was, in what ways might hosting an Active Minds Club at Millis Middle School benefit both the children and the school community? My purpose was to advocate for mental health, provide a place to go for advice and/or help for the members and students, and to teach students how to recognize negative stigmas in the culture. I was eager to learn more about our school and how the students perceive its culture. Personally, I struggle with anxiety and depression myself, so I thought that learning more about it and the techniques for it and to help yourself would be beneficial for me and the students as well. I chose my project because of my close friend Tessa Molinari. Well, not just because of her, but she had done this last year, and I just remember her talking about it in the nurse's office last year and how she really connected with the members, and I thought that was really cool. And I love to connect with new people, so I thought it would be a good project with me. And Active Minds is a really fun and important club that we also have in the high school. So I thought that bringing that over to the middle school, they would really enjoy that. And especially from a high schooler, which they like as well. And in order to do Active Minds, I needed a little background on mental health and how people struggle and like the statistics. So I found out that 1 in 5 adults suffer from mental conditions each year, whether that's being hospitalized or that's going through an episode. And then 50% of those adults develop their condition at the age of 14, which is the most age, or going into the age of 14, the members at my club. And because of the stigma around mental health, there's a lack of support, and that is the root cause of crime and about 50,000 American deaths each year. An explanation of my project would be, we meet every F day. There would be a new topic every meeting surround mental health, whether that would be stigmas or men's mental health or just the techniques to get yourself really going and pushing through those dark days. I needed to provide an environment where different students could interact and relate to one another. I saw a great income with different students from different friend groups and different cliques. So I thought that it was a really great turnout. As you can see from here, there's, girls, there's boys, and in middle school, they usually segregate. So I thought that when they came together, it was a really great turnout. My project correlates with MHS core values and beliefs. I chose 2 of the 4 C's, which is communication and character. Character in Active Minds is really huge. Basically, the whole club is providing empathy and support for one another, and with that comes communication. So I thought that both me and the students really correlated to that. My mentor was Miss Morrow. She is very understanding. I think we can all understand that. She's the advisor for the high school Active Minds. She loves and cares for the students in Millis, and she even won the iHeartRadio Thank a Teacher Award in 2025, which we all heard on the morning announcements, and you could hear from all different classrooms the applause that she got. So I thought that was very cool. And when I was interviewing her, what she said was, I want every student to feel connected to Millis and have a place to go. And that's the only reason why I started Active Minds, is I love my students, basically. So in order to run a successful club, I had 5 steps I needed to do. So I needed to identify my need, which was the negative stigmas in middle school and then coming into high school. Avoid being a copycat. So last year, Tessa Molinari had done her club basically surrounding athletes' mental health, but I'm not an athlete, so I couldn't really do that. So I just came to my own ideas and senses, so I kind of made it into like negative stigmas and self-love and how that really pushes you to be a good person. I needed to build a solid foundation, so I got these steps from Command Education, which is a website that helps students and teachers get more ideas into how they can get their curriculum really pushing and have the students engaged. So they gave me 10 questions. It's basically the where, when, why, how to start the club, and that helps build a solid foundation. I needed to register the club with the school, so that was meeting with Miss Morrill and then meeting with Miss Hurley, which is a middle school principal, and then I had to get it on the morning announcements and in the cafeteria, so that is Miss Talifer, which she's just like the manager of the cafeteria basically and all the students' needs, and then of course Miss Rooney, which the meetings would be taking place in her room, so I had a lot of asking to do in meetings. And then lastly is publicize the club, which that was a struggle for me because you'll see that it went from 0 to 17 kids. So I did really push through, but finding my confidence was really hard for me. But that's something that Miss Morrill helped me do. So I needed to know the Active Minds curriculum. So their mission statement is to mobilize youth and young adults by starting conversations, raising awareness, and supporting one another. And the Active Minds Club in the high school has one of the highest attendance and one of the best effective promotion in the school. We see like different ranges of kids being here, and then we go to all these different conferences, so I knew that I had to really push that into them. And then breaking the stigmas was obviously my need that I needed to solve with them. Usually people who are struggling with mental illness or disabilities, they're portrayed as lazy or violent or unmotivated and dangerous. And we shouldn't really view mental illness differently because compared to other illnesses, because we don't choose. Like there's no one who chooses to have depression or chooses to have cancer or fibromyalgia. Stigmas reinforce negative stereotypes and deepen systematic stigmas in society. So I thought that really pointing that out and saying like, if you're seeing someone who's, not doing good or is in a bad mood, that there's like a deeper meaning to it and to kind of read between the lines. The mind of a teenager, which is the media influence. We see media influence all over the place, and being in middle school and having society being around the internet and social media is very hard. And it can be very hard because it feels that there's nowhere to turn, especially because adults have not really grown up in a society where social media and the internet is based upon. So I thought that having a high schooler and someone their age or older could really relate to and get advice would be perfect. And with this, I kind of chose, what I mean by this is like, in the film, like their favorite shows, Jessie, iCarly, or Netflix, like Ginny and Georgia or All American, it takes like hours to get one episode running, and like they see that and then base their own experiences on that, and it's just like so negative because it's just not true. Like half the actors are like 30 or 40 playing 13-year-olds, and it takes hours to do hair and makeup, costumes, table read. So I thought by telling them like it's exaggerated, it's so different than like real life, that they would feel more confident during their everyday. So my timeline was to first set up the curriculum and meeting with Miss Morrill and also Miss Hurley. And then I had my first meeting November 26th. The topic was, what is Active Minds? Basically just saying what we're gonna do this year. And I only had one member. And then actually, funny story, the second meeting, December 10th, I wanted to talk about the Let Them Theory, which is a book that I read over the summer. It comes with 2 key points: the 3 pillars of friendship, which is proximity, timing, and energy. That means that it's okay to not be friends with someone who you were very close with before like depending on, if you're not on the same sports teams or you're not neighbors with them anymore, or you don't go to the same school, that it's okay to, kind of break apart, and that don't think negatively on yourself. And that also energy is supposed to be reciprocated. So if someone's not giving the same energy that you put into them, it's okay to let go, not in vain. And actually, I had no people this meeting, so I was going outside the hallway to talk to Miss Hurley, and there was 3 boys outside her office doing a office lunch with her because they have gotten in trouble, and she said, "You know what, take them off my hands." So then I had 3 misbehaved boys in my class, and then as we can see in the next meeting, we had 12 members. And that meeting was basically the Let Them theory and Active Minds again, plus SpongeBob, because that was before December break. And then my 4th meeting was paper shred, which is something we do in the high school. You basically write something down on a piece of paper that's been like agitating you, and then you shred it so it helps release your emotions. And then we did active listening and confrontation, which had 17 members. That was the biggest meeting, and I was basically just describing, I got my inspiration from Mr. Kraby, who is like, it's good to have hard conversations and it helps the world around you. And then February 12th, we did mental health advocates. This was the only time that they were silent in the classroom, so I was very happy. We had Sean Ryan come up, we had Harrison Lower come up, we had Sydney O'Toole come up, and I was really astonished by how silent and well-behaved they were compared to the other meetings. And then March 4th, we did military letters, which is Colin Smith's senior project, so I kind of helped him with that and had my meeting write letters for him. And then meeting 8 was Jeopardy. We just talked about all different kinds of things that we had went over, different celebrities who struggle, and like different self-care techniques and myths. And then we did debating, which is the last one. As you can see, they were very angry about McDonald's has the best French fries, because Brennan Valtour thought that it was Five Guys, but Kenny thought that it was Wendy's, so they were just fighting all class. Working with the group, it could be very stressful at times. I did bribe them with donuts half the time. I'm like, okay, you can't yell profanities or you don't get a donut, and that really helped. One member actually got kicked out from Miss Rooney because he was saying very vulgar and inappropriate things. But, being as an active mind leader, I was like, I can't give up on you. You have to come and you have to, show your growth. And actually, I did see a lot of it. The member was Anthony. I don't know, I forget his last name, but you'll see him next year. And I had him last year in gym, and he was one of the kids that would just like yell profanities and trash talk. And then I had him this year for gym, and he was like a completely different boy. And I think it's because of Active Minds. So it was a bit challenging seeing eye to eye, but I had a lot of connections with them, so I thought it was very fun. Thank you, and this is my works cited. Do you have any questions?